Sorry, I didn't have time to make a balloon sheep, so this is what I have to do. Hey, this week we're talking about becoming sheep to shepherd. Sheep to shepherd. Now, what does that mean? Now, in the lesson, we learn that Jesus is the ultimate shepherd, that he is our shepherd, leading us, protecting us, leading us to God and things. Matter of fact, if you want, John chapter 10 is a great thing. Maybe you as a small group, maybe you as a group want to read, or you're on your own, read The Good Shepherd and His Sheep. This is a kid's Bible, and look, it even highlights, the sheep pen, and an awesome verse in there about Jesus being our shepherd, that he knows us by name. What a wonderful passage to read as a group. I invite you to take some post-it notes, some 3x5 cards, something, and jot down a circle of friends that you have. Maybe, for me, it would be a disc golf group that I get together with. For you, maybe you're going game to game to watch your kids' games, and you're around the same circle of parents. That would be a great thing. Or maybe it's a group that you get together, every other Friday for game night, or you go out to eat together, or it's people that you live near, or people at work who you are a part of a team. Now, I'm not saying, I am now the spiritual leader of this group. I'm not saying you have to make that announcement, but how can you be a shepherd and lead others into, hopefully a relationship with Jesus? How can you do that? Maybe if you hear somebody who's having a rough week and you just go to them after your time together and just, hey, can I pray for you this week? Is there anything specific to pray? And then follow up and begin conversations like that. Your job, our job, is not to transform somebody. No. The only person who can do that is Jesus. Our job is to what? Well, child dedication. We just had child dedication. And one of the things in child dedication, as we talk to the parents, we're like, it's not your responsibility for your kids to follow Christ. That would be great. But what do? One of the vows, we will endeavor to provide a Christian home. In other words, you're going to do what you can to provide a Christian home, a Christian atmosphere where you're praying together, where you're talking to the Lord, where you're reading the Bible, where you're listening to worship songs, where you're attending church, where you're having other influences on your child that are influences from Christ. In other words, small group leaders who love Jesus, so you're going to be bringing them to church. Different things like that. How you're going to place them in an atmosphere where they will hear the Word of God. And that's what we're to do in our circles of influence. How can we do that? So I encourage you to take a minute, post-it note, 3x5 card, scrap piece of paper on your phone, list a circle of friends who you are part of. And then maybe go through and how can I be a part of the journey with them to their faith in the Lord? Because you know what? It's not a magic lamp. We can't, if our friend, we can't say, oh, come to know Jesus, and it's a magic lamp. No, it's a process, and we just need to introduce them to God. So how do we do that? We do it through some small steps. And once again, you don't have to be the big leader of the group making major decisions, but how can you be a shepherd in that group for some spiritual things and be pointing to them? How can you say, you know what, the week that I just had was so rough, this happened, my guinea pig died, whatever it is. And say, and be truthful, but hey, if it wasn't for my relationship with Jesus, if it wasn't for my devotions, if it wasn't for me listening to worship music, if it wasn't for this or that, I couldn't have gotten through the week. How can we help them? Also, in your group, is there any podcast or books or worship music that helps you get through things? That helps you, maybe encourages you to be active in your faith? I mean, listen to this song, My Jesus by Ann Wilson, the first couple verses. Are you past the point of weary? Is your burden weighing heavy? Is it all too much to carry? Let me tell you about my Jesus. That's something you can do in your circle of friends. Let me tell you about Jesus. Let me tell you about my Jesus and how he's helped me. What a wonderful thing. And some of us have a burden. This song, Do Something, Matthew West, another song you can listen to as a group right now, process the words. Woke up this morning, saw a world full of trouble now, thought, how'd we ever get so far down, and how's it ever going to turn around? So I turned my eyes to heaven, said, God, why don't you do something? And later says, yeah, I created you. If not you, then who? We need to be doing this. But we need to remember, we can't transform anyone. Some of us are such perfectionists, like me. This is like the second or third time I'm recording this video because I said something or went astray. And you know what? I want it to be perfect. I want it to be perfect. And sometimes we want to be perfect before we can lead someone else into a relationship. But you know what? If you saw on Sunday the stage full of these are what? Mouse traps. The stage full of these, and I'm having trouble getting it. There it is. Stage full of these, and how to avoid the traps in life. We could just be one step ahead of somebody else and be leading them through the path. And that's what we're to be as a shepherd, leading our sheep, leading those that we can, just one step at a time through life. And we're going to make mistakes. We just need to admit that we're not perfect and tell them that we're not perfect, but lead them towards that relationship with Jesus. So that's what we can all do, be providing an atmosphere, encouraging them. The biggest thing, you could listen to those songs. You could look in the book. There's some good questions at the end. John chapter 10 is a great passage that I didn't take a whole lot of time to expand upon in the message. The big thing is it does not have to be a new group, a new thing you have to do. This is something you're already in a circle of people. Each one of us is. Take the time, just write it down, and then how can you be praying for you? Just start by praying for each of those. Just a little simple prayer. And then how can you allow yourself to be used by Jesus to help them, your friends, your circle, each one of those to be pointed to Jesus as well. Have a great week. As you pray for each other, please pray for me as I do this, struggle with this on a daily basis too. I want to be perfect, but I know I'm not, but I still want to be. And I want to be used by Jesus to point others towards him.